Grilled flank steak. Let's go. All right, one of the major parts of a flank steak is having a good marinade. You can kind of customize these however you want, but I'm going to show you mine. So I'm going to start with some honey, and then I'm going to go with a teriyaki sauce base. You can use whatever kind of base you want. After that, I went in with some soy sauce and some garlic. Now to move on to some heat, I added some red pepper. After that, I have some onion powder, some white pepper, and then I just picked up a new seasoning the other day. It's Sweet Heat, so I'm going to throw that in here and see how it goes. All right, once you have all your ingredients for your marinade, you're just going to mix them up, make sure they're well incorporated. If you do add honey in yours, make sure you mix it for a good amount of time. I didn't mix mine that long because I'm lazy, so I still have some honey stuck to the bottom. But you're going to throw your marinade in with your meat, mix that around a little bit, set that in the fridge for a couple hours or overnight. Once we have that setting in the fridge, or the marinade is done rather, you're going to start up your grill. Flank steak needs to be cooked as high as possible for a short amount of time. You really want a super high sear on these things because they are pretty thin. So we have our steaks. I did 2 different types of marinades, but I only showed you guys one. We're going to salt both sides of these things. We can be a little light on the salt because we do have soy sauce and that marinade should have seeped into the meat. Once our grill is nice and hot, we're going to clean it off and then set it back down to heat back up for a second. All right, once it's heated back up, I did spray the grill with a little oil just to help with the sticking. You'll see in a second that doesn't help very much, but it helps a little bit. So we're going to throw these things down on the grill. Again, as high as you can get the grill is going to be the best option for you. And we're just going to let them do their thing. Cooking flank steak is not necessarily hard, but it's definitely a little harder than some other cuts of meat. Once we let this thing sit and get a good sear on one side, we are going to flip them over and let them cook on the other side. As you can see, I do have a little sticking here, but it's better than it would have been if I wouldn't have sprayed it down. As you can see, we got some good grill marks on the side. It's a nice sign that your grill is nice and hot, and those sugars are caramelizing on the outside of your steaks. Here, we're going to test our steaks. If they're still very bouncy, that means that they are not done. Like that one right there, still very bouncy, not very firm. That means it's not done. You're going to want to go till they're a little bit more firm. You want to cook flank steak longer than other steaks, as you can see here. Pretty firm, not super firm though. Once we let these things rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to slice these against the grain on a diagonal. It's going to help them become really tender, as you can see here. A lot of people make flank steak. They don't end up tender, but you cook it super high, not that long. It's going to be tender, come out the way you want. There's flank steak. Love and peace.